Hi guys, it's Lily, back with another reading with Candlelight Tarot. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm trying out a different setup, so I'm going to have 3 piles for you to choose from, but they're all going to have the same prompt today, and we're going with, what is my blind spot? Okay, so let's illuminate your blind spot. I got this from Daily Tarot Girl on YouTube, which I fucking love her. If you ever want to start learning the cards for yourself and do your own research on it, she has some really good videos I would highly recommend. But so this is her tarot spread that she came up with, and I think it's so cute. The spreads that we got today are so fun. As I was drawing them and looking through them and kind of piecing them together so that I could give you guys better readings in the moment. Ooh, I was getting excited. I was getting real excited. So, without further ado, let's get into the readings. Right, so here are our piles. For pile 1, I've got this monarch butterfly wing, which no, I did not kill a butterfly to get this. I found it on the road and I passed by it and I was like, yo, what's going on? And I had to turn around and go try to save it, and it did not live, unfortunately. But she's very remembered and very loved. You know, her beauty lives on. I do love monarchs. I think they're one of my favorite types of butterflies. Where I live, we have them all over for a certain... I can never remember if it's like spring or fall, but they're everywhere and it's so fun. And then for our second pile, we got this like green heart. I can't remember what it is. I just know I bought it because it was pretty. And then for the third pile, we have angel quartz, which you'll see that shine. She's pretty. Okay, so yeah, those are our options today. I mean, I guess go ahead and choose one and I will see you there. All right. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. I hope y'all are as excited to hear it as I am to give it, because this one was really good. It was really good. So I'm just gonna get her out of the way. Put her back there. We got the other 2 back here because it's like we're all in this together, you know? And because I have a small desk, but whatever. So we're starting with our first card here, which is 2 of Swords in reversed, okay? And that is in the area of your blind spot, okay? And I think for you guys, I'm gonna lay everything out first, and then, because the way that this is laid out, it goes area of the blind spot, nature of the blind spot, the actual blind spot, and how to bring more awareness. And I feel like y'all would probably benefit from knowing the blind spot first, but I'm just gonna keep it laid out the same way. So the nature of the blind spot is gonna be our Queen of Pentacles here. the blind spot itself is the Knight of Wands. And then how to bring more awareness to it is going to be our Three of Swords in reversed. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like trying to figure out how to best lay these out, because it's nice to be able to see them. Okay, so y'all, I will say, when I was reading this, oh, it's such a good message. It's such a good message. Like, I'm so fucking excited for y'all to hear this, okay? Because I feel like the people that this is gonna reach, like, ooh, I'm just excited. This is the kind of energy that made me want to start doing readings in the first place, right? Like, this is the kind of thing that, yeah, okay. So, Knight of Wands, your blind spot, right? In my notes, I wrote it down as the bubble, okay? Your blind spot is your bubble, okay? Like, if you're inside of a bubble, your distortion of the world is going to be warped, right? It's going to be like, you know how like soap gets all like wavy and a little bit iridescent? It's like a warped view of the world, you know? It changes how you see things, okay? And so I think that this reading is for a collective that is feeling stuck, okay? But it's more than just feeling stuck. It's feeling like you have to be stuck in order to get somewhere, okay? And I'm gonna jump over to the Two of Swords reversed, okay? Because this card explains it so well. So when you get the Two of Swords upright, it's an indicator of contentment in the moment, or that in-between state that this collective is in. It's saying, okay, I'm here. I'm okay with being here because I know it's what's right for me. Okay? And there's definitely points in life where this kind of energy is totally necessary. I think it's a test of patience, and I think it's really good to learn to be patient. But y'all got that in the reversed. Y'all are not supposed to be accepting it. The feeling of being stuck, it's not a fun feeling, obviously. And, you know, I think when you feel stuck, or like you're in limbo for so long, it's easy to actually get stuck, right? It kind of becomes the mindset. And so if you're not okay. So it's like the limbo that you're in, there may have been a time where it was necessary, but is that where you're meant to be anymore? Like, if your legs are itching to run, go for a motherfucking run. Just take off, you know? And so this Two of Swords reversed is followed by the Queen of Pentacles. Okay? And this is a funny pairing. At first, when these two showed up, I was like, what? I completely did not get it. Because the Queen of Pentacles is patient, okay? She's sown the seeds, and now she's patiently watching them grow, right? And here's the thing that got me. She is content with watching it grow. And then it really made me wonder, and I want to ask you this as well. Are you content with this being stuck? Are you content with being in limbo? Because I do think that contentment in this kind of space it's something that you have to find. But if you've already found it, and you found the peace in it, and it's not working anymore, that contentment is gone, you do not have to stay in a situation where you are not happy. You do not have to stay in a situation where you don't feel like you're fully living your life, where you're unfulfilled. So I think it is super interesting that we got the Two of Swords in reversed and then the Queen of Pentacles right next to each other, especially area of blind spot and then nature of blind spot. Because the nature of the blind spot, I think, is, I mean, are you really content? Is that really where you want to be? And I think it's like, well, okay. So then we move from there to the Knight of Wands, which is the blind spot, okay? And like we said before, that's the bubble, okay? That's just being inside this warped view. And the Knight of Wands is about movement. It's about traveling. Traveling's a big one. But I also think that it isn't necessarily just physically hopping on a plane and going somewhere completely new. And I think that's where it's really easy to get tripped up, is movement does not need to be big, all right? It can be super small. It can be, instead of working on your homework at home, you work on it in a coffee shop or something along those lines. And I feel like it's kind of alluring to a freedom in movement as well. There's freedom in just letting yourself go, you know? You don't have to be so rigid all the time. You don't have to, I mean, almost you don't always have to be in control. When you're in a movement state, or even if you're just pushing yourself the littlest bit to get out of this stagnancy, right? I think that doing that can really, the more you do it, the broader your mind, the broader the shift of your mind becomes, right? One thing that really stood out to me with this one was see yourself through the eyes of others and realize your potential. And I say that in a sense of, you got to get out of your own head, dude. Our minds love pretending we know everything. They love being like, this is reality. This is what the world is. And the world is not inside your head. The world is outside of your head, which I understand completely is very scary. It's very, very, very scary to, when you allow movement and bring in new experiences, there's a lot less control there. You have a lot of control in your head and you don't have control outside of it. But at the same time, I think that there's a lot more control that you can have than you realize, but the only way to get it and the only way to change that pattern is to start with the small changes, actually start bringing in movement and change into your life, because it's not going to be any different if you're not the one to make the change, Like, don't let the world make you its bitch. Make the world your bitch. like the energy of the world, it fucking loves when you say, this is what I want and I'm gonna go for it, and you're gonna fail probably multiple times, but every time you fail you learn something new, and every time you learn something new you grow, and eventually you'll get it right. And there's so much beauty in even the experience of trying and trying and trying, and you meet so many people, and it is such a beautiful thing to get out of your comfort zone and realize how wonderful the world is. It's so incredible. And yeah, if you're feeling stuck, I would so highly encourage you to start making the small changes that are going to help you feel better and are going to get you out of that stagnancy. And if you don't know what that is, well, first off, our next card, 3 of Swords in reverse, is how to bring more awareness, and it has some great advice. But I also think my personal advice, and this is coming from someone who spent 3 years straight in my bedroom besides work. It was not good for me. I was very scared of going outside and experiencing new things and letting go of control. And that changed through listening to my gut. I listened to my intuition whenever it felt natural for me to take a turn, instead of letting myself get anxious or let the anxiety control that decision. I just let what felt natural happen, If it feels like, there is going to be a little bit of a fight, but which fight is worth fighting for, I guess. So listening to your gut when it tells you that something needs to change, and it tells you this is how it's going to change, listening to that is instrumental, I think. One of my favorite quotes is, "Trust the gut, it was never taught how to lie." The gut is not affected, or the gut feelings, they're not, or intuition or whatever, it's not affected by your brain, but it can feel super similar to anxiety. So I also encourage you to, the feeling of anxiety and the feeling of intuition are two different things, but it can be hard to know. So I also encourage you to start noticing those feelings, seeing what your body is telling you. I'll also link in the description a video about intuition and trusting the gut that I watched a while ago, and it was phenomenal. And I can't remember the creator's name right now, but she has so many good videos. Her content is absolutely incredible, especially for when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. She has such good advice. She's just amazing. But that being said, how to bring more awareness, 3 of Swords reversed. It's literally just telling you to be nicer to yourself. Just taking the time to notice a negative thought pattern that you may have and how that hurts you. Because I think they're easy to dismiss. It's really easy to dismiss when you have a thought pattern that you've had for a very long time that isn't very nice to yourself. But that is the most important thing to heal, I guess, because the better you treat yourself, the better you will feel. You are not your external circumstances. And if you can be super strong and solid in yourself, the world will not be able to hurt you. But the more that you hurt yourself, the more you are able to be hurt. So noticing those thought patterns, and when they show up, ask yourself, is this true? If you are a very negative self-talker, is it true? It's not. And it ties back in, I think, to the see yourself through a third perspective. And this is gotta be realistic about the third perspective, because the world and everyone in it is not against you. Okay? Everyone has their own shit going on. People are not staring you down and judging you. Okay, that is your brain being an asshole to yourself, and you do not deserve that. You do not deserve to be treated like that by someone else, and you don't deserve to be treated like that by yourself. Another good thing to ask might be, would I let someone else say this to me? Because if someone else said that to you, would they? Absolutely the fuck not. And if they did, y'all are gonna have a problem. You know? And if they are saying that to you, I'm so incredibly sorry. They're wrong. They are wrong. You are so deserving of love, and you're so deserving of good things, and you are so deserving of the energy and essence of life. And if you journal, it might be good to journal about this kind of stuff. Put it on paper. Just look at it from, a different perspective. We're all about perspectives today. And I want to leave you with this question. Are you experiencing life or are you just surviving? And then one of the biggest things that anyone has ever told me that helped me start enjoying life instead of living in my head through anxiety and, you know, all of that gnarly shit, was that this friend of mine told me that she, no matter what happens during her day, she could have the shittiest day of her life. She could have the shittiest shift. You know, something super upsetting could happen. But every single day, she tries to find one thing that brings her joy. Even if it's the smallest thing. Wear your favorite pair of socks. Use a mug you like. That sort of thing, you know? Bring yourself love and peace and comfort, because you are so deserving of that. And you are deserving of moving forward. You do not have to be stuck, you know? And I don't think you need to be stuck either. I think it's just incredibly, incredibly hard to get out of. But yeah, I hope that helped. I hope you all enjoyed that. That was like pretty, I feel like that was really, really serious feeling. But I mean, it's a serious fucking topic, so whatevs. But yeah, thank you for joining me. If you felt called to pile 2 or 3, then I will see you there. If not, that's totally fine. And I will see you whenever I see you next. Bye-bye. Kisses. Mwah. Hello, group 2. Y'all see this spread? This spread is crazy. Okay? And I'm not saying it has to be about love. It won't be about love for everyone. But I think there is an aspect of it for some people. It's gonna be about a relationship, okay? Which is like kind of funny. I picked out all of the little objects, right, before I did the reading, and that was what I picked out for this one, so you know, I don't know. I mean, Queen of Cups, Justice, the Devil, and the Tower. Damn, girl. Damn, boy. Damn. What would be like the non-binary? They, them. Damn, non-binary baddie. Damn, non-gender conforming royalty. Everyone is welcome here. Okay, so for your blind spot area, we got the Queen of Cups. For the blind spot nature, we got Justice. For the blind spot itself, we got the Devil. And for the awareness of the blind spot, how to gain more awareness, we got the Tower. So, y'all, I'm like, I don't even know how to like start this one, okay? It's a big one, okay? So for the blind spot, we're gonna start there. Lovely, the Devil, right? I'm like really struggling on how to put this one together, which is annoying because I literally just had it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm feeling like this, right? The Queen of Cups, the blind spot area, blockage in feeling emotion. When you know, but you don't know. Okay, it's like energy of lurking under the surface. There's something here that it's your truth. Okay? The truth of the situation is there and it's lurking. But trying to get it out feels impossible. okay? Like stumbling over your words, sort of, or, you know, in order for it to be honest, there's no way for you to sugarcoat it. And that's a totally scary thing, okay? For the Queen of Cups, I want to remind you that sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a strength. Allowing yourself to show vulnerability and hard emotions that can be portrayed as weak is not weak. It is incredible strength. And it's hard. But showing the things that you want to hide, it takes an incredible amount of courage. You have to be brave about it, you know? And when your emotions are blocked, okay, I'm like getting the energy of like a wall. You know, there's just a wall. And the fear of acknowledging what's behind that, right? But at the same time, not acknowledging that, when you're not feeling your full range of emotions, you're missing out on so much vibrancy in life, because everything in life happens in opposites, right? And in order for you to have great happiness, there's also going to be great sadness. I think one of my favorite ways to look at that has been you cannot truly enjoy food unless you've known what it is to starve, right? Because when you're super hungry and you've gone without and then you get it, it feels so fucking good, you know? But when you're not acknowledging those lows and those more quote-unquote negative feelings, you're not going to be able to feel the good pieces of life as well either. Everything is going to be muted and tamped down, you know? It's like all your feelings are under a super heavy blanket and they're suffocating in there. And everything, the whole world feels stuffy and boring and nasty, and that's not how the world is. That's just a perception of it, you know? And with denial of feelings as well, it can cause a big imbalance. And the further and longer you deny yourself your truth, the further you get from being able to discern what's true for you and what's not, and what the, you know, like correct course of action is. It gets harder and harder and harder the longer you let it go on. You know, you are the creator of your own reality. Every decision that you make reflects what reality is for you. So if you're choosing something that is not for you, you are choosing to not live your best life and live your life in a way that is going to make you the happiest and feel the fullest and most vibrant, okay? Which, crazy, bro. I mean, that's just the area of it. It's just the area of your blind spot. And so here, in the nature of it, we have justice, okay? And justice here is, again, being like, yo, you need to be real with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself, and you need to let yourself balance out. the most abundance, like abundance is most achievable through balance of both the body and the mind. When you are out of balance, you can't claim the abundance that life has for you. But the only way you can be in balance is if you're being real with yourself, is if you're being honest. And also, for all my people who like to make logical decisions, logical-based thinking, the only way for you to have true logical clarity is to acknowledge the emotional aspect of it, right? Because logic is not, okay, for example, if you are in a relationship with someone who is, they're really good in bed, okay? Y'all be fucking, and they can make you scream, okay? But outside of bed, they make you feel this deep emptiness or sadness, like the relationship is completely physical and the lack of emotional connection leaves you feeling disappointed and empty. Logical reasoning is not, they fulfill one desire that I have, so I might as well just stay with them. Because while they are fulfilling one desire, they are actively taking from your joy as well. If they are making you feel negatively impacted mentally, that is not to your benefit. That is an energetic exchange that is stealing from you. Because every moment that you are feeling poorly because of this situation is a moment that you could be happy because of something else. You know? But if you're denying your emotion in favor of being logical, then you're completely denying a part of the logicality that is, if something makes you feel bad, it's not for you. That is logical. But the only way to be logical about that is to say, yeah, it makes me feel like shit. And it's okay to say something makes you feel like shit. There are things in life that, well, obviously, everyone has things that makes them feel like shit. But you gotta acknowledge and choose something else. You can always acknowledge and choose something that makes you feel better. You are not stuck. The only way for you to be truly stuck is, for lack of better words, letting yourself be stuck. Which I understand there's different situations for everyone. I totally get that. And I'm not judging anyone or their situation. But acknowledging the feeling at the very least and letting yourself say, yeah, it's there. And it's okay, I feel like that. It is a huge step and it can open doors for you. You know, Inconvenient truth does not make it any less true. Inconvenient truth does not make it any less true. And how fun is that? How fun is that? And so here, we're moving on to the devil. Lovely. And that is what we drew for your blind spot. So your blind spot is your self-doubt. Your blind spot is allowing, when you know something is true, and then something comes in your head and it goes, but what if that's wrong? What if I'm wrong? You're not wrong. You know. Your gut knows. Your intuition knows. You're not wrong. I don't know if anxiety is the right word, but the anxiety, the self-doubt, that is not what is true. Don't listen to it. Listen to what you know in your gut. Your gut does not lie. Your intuition does not lie. And that is followed by the tower, in the position of what can you do to bring awareness to this blind spot. You gotta let it fall, baby. Gotta let it fall. And it's probably gonna hurt. It's probably gonna suck. It's not gonna be easy. But it'll suck, and then it'll feel really fucking good. The depths of despair that you're feeling right now, imagine if that was reversed and that's how much joy you were feeling. That's what you can work towards, because that's what's achievable. I don't know, y'all. I feel like there's not much more I can say. I guess just know that what you're feeling, the truth that feels so impossible to acknowledge, it's there and it's going to keep knocking at the door until you let it in. And you deserve good things. You deserve to have better circumstances in life, and you can make it happen. It just is going to hurt. It's going to hurt for a little bit. But, I don't know, after every storm, there's a rainbow, you know? It's like, things will get better. And it's so hard to imagine when you're in it, but I can promise you this. The amount of pain that you feel now, you can feel 10 times that in joy. My cat's dreaming. But y'all got this. Y'all really do. I know that you have people there for you. Even if it feels like you don't, I'm here. You got me. Whatever situation it is that it feels so hard to step out of, impossible even, just know that at least one person in the world has got your back. Because I feel it. I feel you. You know, the energy is real. It's very there. And I don't know, y'all. I'm sending healing vibes your way, or peace. Even if it's just for a moment, letting peace wash over you. And now imagine that, but it's all the time. Yeah. There's so much love for you. So much love. What up, Pile 3? Thank you for joining me here today. Right off the bat, got a few things that I want to say before I get into it. A, I don't think that this message specifically is for a super wide audience. The energy that's coming through for it is very, very specific. Okay, so I mean, as with any tarot reading, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I'm not gonna be sugarcoating this for y'all, okay? Y'all y'all need to sit down, shut the fuck up, and listen. Okay? That's the energy of this reading, and it is strong. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and listen. Okay? So, I mean, I'm just gonna get right into it. We're starting with the Three of Pentacles upright, okay? This is the area of your blind spot. And I think this is kind of a reminder that in order to improve, you need to keep learning. You are never going to be perfect at something. And that's not just you. No one ever will, okay? No one's ever perfect. That is not an achievable thing here on Earth. But setbacks and failure are part of the process, okay? When you let your ego steer the ship, it can be kind of whiny about this sort of thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you want something to succeed, which success is very manageable, it's very doable. I think we both know that. But it is not if you let your ego either, wah, I'm not good enough, I'm never going to be able to do this. Yes, you can. You know you can. But also, if the ego is saying, no, I'm not the problem because I'm so good at this, I don't need to do anything else, I put in enough work, why isn't it working? It's the rest of the world. It's probably a sign that you gotta expand more, learn a little bit more, right? And so the nature of this blind spot is followed by the King of Wands in reversed. Okay. And this one's a little bit nicer of a message, okay? It's telling you gotta believe in yourself and your ability, okay? Comparing yourself to others is going to kill your creativity, and it's going to kill your drive, and it's going to kill the success that you have the possibility to build, okay? When you compare yourself to others, it's like comparing a tiger and a jellyfish. They're not the same thing. Nothing about them is similar, and they both have wonderful attributes to both of them, but if you're a tiger, you can't be as free-flowing as a jellyfish is, and that's just the nature of things. There's nothing you can do about that. So why waste your energy comparing yourself or wishing for that? Or, you know, like, it's okay to have goals. It's okay to be like, hey, I want to be a little bit more like this. I'd say the camera's out of focus. Okay, that's better. I'd say that it's healthy to want to have goals and have a willingness to change and stuff, but at the same time, you gotta be realistic, okay? You gotta be realistic, you gotta be kind to yourself, you have to acknowledge the things that you already have that are super wonderful, and yeah, I mean, be nice to yourself. I feel like being mean to yourself, it doesn't do you any good, it doesn't do anyone else any good. If you're not one to take time to rest and let your mind recover a little bit, I'd highly recommend that. It's really hard to... Okay, this spread does point to interpersonal conflict, especially in the work area, which it does not have to be that, you know? But if that is the case, you can only show up for yourself and for others and for whatever success you are trying to achieve. The best way to show up for that is with a clear mind. So taking time to rest and sit in silence and take the comparison out and just be with yourself is super important. It's super, super important. And then, last thing for the King of Wands reversed. You are you, so only you can do you. Remember that you are your own person, you are unique, and that goes for everyone else. Right? So don't let your identity blend with anyone, and don't let anyone blend with you. Right? I think that's super important here. And so for the blind spot itself, we have the Two of Cups reversed. And Two of Cups reversed is very much about interpersonal conflict, okay? And it warns against letting your ego control your reality, okay? Like there's a need, because on one hand it is very important for you to be connected with yourself, right? On the other hand, you need to be secure enough in yourself that you can look past your own personal perception and see the situation for what it is, okay? Because I think human nature is very much the type where it's very easy to get in the mindset of the world only happens in the way it happens in your perspective, right? And I would say that's ego, okay? And it's not, I don't think, a healthy way to view conflict, okay? Because nothing is going to get solved if you won't listen, okay? It does point for a need to listening to others openly. The ability to listen starts with the ability to listen to yourself, okay? If you can't even hear your own thoughts, you are not going to be able to hear anyone else. And active listening is a learned skill, okay? I don't think very many people are just born with the ability to have great listening skills. But, I mean, I think openness in your ears, you would be surprised how much you can actually gain from listening to other people. You're not the only person in the world. Take the time to listen to other people's worldviews. If you are in conflict, really listen. And when you're listening, don't be formulating a response. Don't rebuttal with, oh, but I. That's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is y'all both have feelings. Y'all both deserve to be heard. Give the other person the respect and courtesy that you would like from them, and listen. You want to be listened to too. I think everyone does. Everyone wants to be heard. And that starts by you hearing others. Okay? Don't disrespect yourself, and don't disrespect the others around you. It is very important. It's kind of like the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. If you want to be heard, you listen first. You start that. And that is the mature way to go about it. That is the adult way to go about it. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. The energy of this is fraying my patience a little bit. Grow up. Grow up. Okay? You're not a baby. You have the ability to be successful and have great relationships in your life, but you can only do that by starting it with yourself, taking the steps to growing your emotional maturity, all of those good things. Okay? If you don't know where to start, I would highly recommend looking up just a video on YouTube. Just look up active listening skills, and next time you're talking to someone, try apply them. Just baby steps. Baby steps. You don't gotta be perfect. Because again, nobody's perfect. And, okay, so y'all are the lucky ones. Y'all may be irritating me, but I'm still here for you, okay? And so with the Two of Cups, I was like, I need a little bit of clarification on that. And so I drew the Wheel of Fortune, okay? And my bad, G. I drew it reversed, okay? And that's... Okay, I drew the Wheel of Fortune reversed, which is indicative of repeating cycles, reoccurring life lessons, patterns, that sort of thing, okay? And so maybe you've recognized this pattern, okay? Maybe you kind of understand that this keeps happening. And, it's hard to break out of stuff when you're stuck in a cycle. You're just going in circles and circles. It's like, and it's easier to just do what you've done before, okay? But at the same time, I just have this sneaking suspicion. The first step to anything is acknowledging that it's there. Saying, hey, I see that I'm in this cycle. I know that I'm in it. That is the first step. Second step, how do I change it? Right? Because this irritation that I'm feeling with this group is also paired with a lot of love, okay? It's not an irritation towards you as a person or your character. It's just like, you need to pack it up and figure this shit out and move on. You can only do this for so long. And I think that once you do, it's going to open a lot of doors for you. Like, it's just like this bright light. There is joy. There is happiness. There is peace. It's a big thing. And it's really exciting, So acknowledge the cycle. Acknowledge that this is happening. And what can you do? Start thinking, what can you do, right? What can you do about this cycle? And so the last card that we draw here is how to bring more awareness to this, okay? Get the Seven of Wands in reversed. You don't need to do everything alone. Your suffering does not have to happen alone. You can ask for support. You can be vulnerable. When you bring in vulnerability with others, I don't even know how to explain it other than it opens up the door with them. The wall that is there, it goes away when vulnerability is added into the mix. And I know how easy it is to say, no, I need to do everything alone. But it also hurts. Being alone hurts. It hurts so motherfucking bad. And you don't gotta do that. You know, just because that's what you've done your whole life does not mean that's how you have to keep living. You really don't. And you do not deserve to be hurting. You don't deserve to be in pain, and you deserve to be loved and have the kinds of relationships that you want to have. So don't do it alone, okay? Like, and how you reach out, how you change this cycle, it's going to be very personal to you. But know that it's possible. Know that it'll be scary. But you're a strong motherfucker. You've got this far. You've got this far. What is having one scary conversation compared to everything else you've been through? I don't know. I think I'm talking to a bunch of emotionally wounded bad bitches who, y'all have gone through some shit. Y'all have got walls up. But those walls, it's time for them to come down. And yeah, you're scared, but you've been through worse. You've been through a lot worse. And even if it doesn't go well, you'll pick yourself up. You'll keep going, and you'll come out the other side a better person. You'll come out the other side successful. I like this group. I know that I started out really irritated, but that's always how it happens with me. I think the people who irritate me at first always end up being the people I like the most. Because that's like real shit. It's real shit. But yeah, thank you for joining me here today. Let me know in the comments or whatever how that made you feel. You can even start there. If you're like looking for an entryway to start opening up a little bit and being a little bit vulnerable, you can put it in my comment section. I'm totally cool with that. But yeah, thanks for letting me connect with you today. It was a fun reading, and I will see y'all next time. Okay, y'all. Here's my little outro. Thank you all for joining me today. If you want to book a personal reading, my email is in the description below. But this is for every single one of you. Know that you are very loved. And what you're going through is temporary. It will pass. And you'll be okay. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I will see y'all next time.